to push that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next one is election of officers for this year. Do we have anybody that would like to nominate or volunteer someone to be the chairperson?
I'll nominate Haley.
I'm moving.
No way, let's do it. Is there anyone else been interested? Do we know who's not here? We probably can't do it in them.
Brian, Lisa, or
It's
Kathleen.
one other meeting.
Can we nominate Brian or Kathleen?
No, because they gotta run the rest of the meeting as soon as they become the chair.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Come on, Eric. You want
That
Fine, I'll do it.
Okay. So I guess I nominate Eric Karlstrom to be the chairperson.
I'll second nominating Craig.
Okay. All in favor? All opposed?
Okay.
Okay. Eric, you're the chair.
Okay, we need,
I still go for the next
okay.
one, right?
Yeah.
okay,
And then do we have a vice chair? I'm willing. Yeah.
so I nominate George.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I'm the vice chair. Now it's.
Okay, and what, we need a secretary or something like that?
We approve the minutes.
Yeah,
The minutes are on the back.
Yeah, I put them on the back of it.
Okay.
In case you didn't get a chance to look at them online. They're from the last meeting, so kind of hard to remember if these are accurate or not. They're back in May, but
Do we have any additions or changes to the minutes, or do we have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes for the May 2025 budget meeting.
We have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, so moved. Okay, next is to receive the superintendent's budget message. Okay, great.
Well, this is Kwana. For, we've got a whole slideshow here.
I do. I don't run these very often, so forgive me. I get ahead. Okay, so here's the agenda for tonight. We're gonna do an outline of the budget process. What is a budget and what is a budget committee roles and responsibilities, a budget document overview, financial forecast, and then you can feel free to ask any questions at the end or throughout, either way. Alrighty, so this right here is a flow chart of the budget process. This is where we are right now. Step one, appointing the budget officer, and we will be moving on to preparing the budget. And then I will let you guys know once that's complete. At the end of the meeting, I did list a date when that will be ready to be electronically delivered, or if you want a hard copy, you can let me know and I can print one out for you too. So I'll be working on that over the next month. The advertisement will get published. We will have the meeting. That's where the budget gets approved. The tax levies gets approved. And then after that, it goes on to the school board meeting in June. And then they have to approve it. And then in July, it has to go to the county for the approval of the tax levy by July 15th. So it's kind of a long process that starts right now, or it's actually started a couple months ago when we started preparing the budget. So I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of that. Oh, see, here I go. Yeah, okay. So what is a budget? It's a financial plan with estimates of revenues and expenditures for a single fiscal year. Our fiscal year goes from July 1st through June 30th. What is the law? Oregon local budget law establishes procedures for preparing, presenting, and administering the budget, requires citizen involvement before the formal adoption. who is on the budget committee, school board, sorry about that. School board members and an equal number of 5 citizens. Board members are elected and citizens are appointed by the board. Citizens serve a term of 3 years. Budget committee roles. They do hear the budget message, which Gary presents. They hear and consider public comment, discuss and revise budget as needed, approve the budget, and approve the tax rate and levy amount. They don't set salaries, benefits, or contract terms, set staffing levels or organization structure decisions, decide if a program or service should be provided, or make or alter district goals or policies. All right, so this is a new slide. I didn't have this in here last year, but I thought it might be helpful because I know some of our members are new. This is just kind of, basically the full budget document is roughly 200 pages. So I wanted to highlight important parts of it that you might want to focus on versus reading all 200 pages. So the superintendent's message, that provides an overview of the budget, including priorities, challenges, and assumptions. The budget at a glance section provides an overview of all funding, including revenues and expenditures, FTE enrollment, and the 5-year forecast. The general fund section provides details on general resources and expenses by function, area, and object. And then you have the general fund narratives, and those provide an overview for each location, including their general fund expense history, proposed budgeted expenses, and any major budget or service level changes. So for example, if we're adding an FTE at a building or a program, it will be listed on that narrative page. Following each narrative for each location, so there's one for every building and then there's one for the DO. There's detailed budgeted numbers for each of those locations. The remaining sections of the document include the special revenue fund, which includes all our grants, the debt service fund, which accounts for our payments on the bonds. And then there's a capital project fund section as well, which is for our capital improvement expenses.
Just to help people be familiar with terms, could you define FTE for us and give us an example of a function, area, and object?
Yeah, so FTE is for full-time equivalent. So if you're a full-time teacher, you're a 1.0 FTE. If you're half-time, you're considered 0.5 FTE. Okay. So you will see that on those narrative pages. You'll see it, you know, in parentheses of 0.5. That means we reduced something by 0.5 FTE. And it'll say licensed or classified, so you know. And then the functions are, so we have 1,000s, 2,000s, 3,000s, and 4,000s. Most of the ones you'll be looking at are the 1,000s because that's instructional function. So like 1111 is elementary, 1121 is middle school, 1131 is high school. And then the 2,000s are support services. So that would be office personnel, us here at the DO. But the vast majority of our FTE is under instructional, so the 1,000. And then area, that would be considered like Elmira Elementary or Frederick Middle School. And then object, that is at the end of a budget number, which an example is 111, which is licensed salaries. So it's 3 numbers and it's always at the end of a string. And it lets you know if it's a salary or a benefit or a supply. There is a section in the budget that has a glossary of acronyms as well, which could be helpful to you if you have questions on that. But also feel free to email me if you're not understanding something.
Great.
Is that it? Yes.
Any other questions or anything else?
So we got more slides. So
Oh, okay.
I will go
Not
quick.
quite that quick of a meeting. Yeah.
Not too much more. Okay, so budget drivers. We are in the second half of the biennium. So the state school fund estimate has been released. Whereas last year, we were at the first half, and a lot of times that first half, we don't have just state school fund estimate, but we have it now, so we know what we can budget off of. We have set our enrollment, so we know how to prepare that in the budget. What we don't know is future changes in enrollment, both locally and statewide, because both of those can impact the state funding. We also don't know grant allocations fluctuate year to year, and final amounts are yet to be determined. So most of our grant budgets in the budget will be projections, and that's pretty typical, unfortunately. Okay, it's not working. There it
Can
goes.
you ask for, if it's drastically different, can you make an amendment and ask for a late change to it?
Yeah, so if a grant comes in way over what we projected in the budget, we can do a supplemental budget and correct that. Yeah. Okay, so budget drivers, expenditures. What we know, all salaries are negotiated. So steps and COLAs have been applied to the working budget document. PERS rates will remain the same for 25, 26. We're in 25, 26. They will remain the same as 25, 26 in 26, 27. However, starting in 27, 28, they are going to jump up quite a bit, as you can see. The unknowns, enrollment may increase or decrease. Economic conditions may impact operating costs such as supplies, fuel, electricity. Out of district placements, costs are projected, but we could get new students come in that may require a placement. Those can be quite costly. We can also have students exit that are in those placements. So it's really, you're just kind of throwing a dart and guessing. Paid leave organ usage, that could impact the rates as well as increase the cost for substitutes if we have a lot of usage. And then again, at the bottom, I listed grants. If grant funding comes in lower than expected, expenses may shift from special revenue to general fund. So, that's a downside, but.
What is UAL?
What's it stand for?
Yeah.
You're gonna ask me that. It's and I can't remember exact
I think the L's liability, unemployment.
no,
No?
it's because it's PERS. It's something amortization. What the UAL is, I'll tell you, it's
We got
from
that fancy little device.
it's from the bonds that all the districts took out back in 01 and 09.
Okay.
And that UAL essentially gives us a credit on our PERS rates every month.
Okay.
Well, that UAL is going away starting in 27, 28.
Okay.
So we are not going to have a credit applied to our PERS rates any longer.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys are going up on the other ones.
Yes.
Is that going to fill in the gap at all?
Our PERS costs will be going up quite a bit. I haven't exactly ran the numbers. I think I did once maybe with Gary, just like this year, I just pretended, okay, let's say that happened to us this year and our rates were that. I think it was around 400,000.
From what it looks like, it's gonna double. Yeah, it's significant.
It's quite a bit.
It's, the L is liability, it's unfunded actuarial liability. Okay. First, it's a problem that, the entire state's dealing with. And if we can maybe explain about our PERS bond that's running out or how that works. But we're going back in the early 2000s, we purchased a PERS bond to buy down our rates, and that runs out pretty much the whole state running out at the same time, right? Not everybody did it. We had a superintendent back then who was smart, did this. It's definitely helped our rates, and that's going away. But we're in the process right now. The markets have to have the right condition for this to be financially beneficial to districts, and it's very expensive to run that report. It can cost like $30,000 for us to even somebody to tell us, oh, you can do this or not. Well, because it's such an issue statewide, districts have pooled together, like the majority of the state, right? And the firm has taken this on, and they're doing it, since they're doing it for everyone, they're doing it a lot cheaper. I think it was like 2,500.
2,500 for
Yeah,
us,
we had to pay. And so sometime in the next, I don't know if it's gonna be 3 months or 6 months or 9 months, we're gonna be told that, hey, it's gonna be advantageous for the district to buy essentially a bond to help pay down this rate. But we've been saving money, and she'll talk about that. Well, you'll probably see it more when you actually get the budget document, not tonight, right? We have a reserve account to help address these changes that are coming, that we're slowly growing. But it'll definitely be something that's gonna have a big impact, not just on Fern Ridge, but around the state in 2 years.
So the general fund formula revenue is around 96% of our annual operating revenues. This includes the state school fund, property taxes, common school fund, county school fund, state, federal timber revenue. The remaining 4% of our general fund money comes from interest, indirect grants, E-rate, miscellaneous fees, such as rental fees. So that's the other 4%. It's highly dependent upon the economy, the state income taxes and property values. Revenue in 26-27 is based on the governor's, I shouldn't have proposed in there because it's no longer proposed, it's a set, 11.359 billion biennial allocation. The total biennial allocation for 25-27 represents an 11.37% increase over the 23-25 biennium, which is the largest increase since 13-15. We are in the second half of the biennium, so we will be receiving 51% in 26-27 since the biennium was split 49-51. We received 49 this year, we'll get 51 next year. Enroll. We are projecting an approximate 2% decrease in enrollment compared to the latest estimate, which was released on March 3rd. All prior year figures shown on this chart are actuals, except for 25-26, which reflects that March 3rd statement. 26-27 figures are projections, and those numbers are what will be used in the budget document. So funding isn't just based on head counts, it's weighted based on student needs. These weights are influenced by districts across the entire state and not just our own. One important limitation is the cap on special education weighting. I'll go into that a little bit. So that means we're not fully funded for all our students receiving those services. And as you can see in 25-26, the weight for special education students was 239.57. That's that 150.77 plus the 88.8. But we have roughly 304 special education students. So this is an area where our actual costs can exceed the funding we're receiving, and commonly does. Oregon uses a formula called extended ADMW, which means funding is based on the higher of the 2 most recent years. So for 26-27, we will be based off of 25-26. I have little arrows there showing in 25-26, you'll see we were actually being paid off of 24-25. 26-27, we're being paid off of 25-26. So unless our enrollment numbers went up in 26-27, it would go that other way. And they do that just to give districts planning time.
And just for context, so for the first 11% of our special students in special education, we get 1.5 double weight. So right now we get around $11,000 per student, so we're getting 22, which seems like a lot, but keep in mind we have a can't remember the exact number, was it 30 or 40 that are over $30,000? So we have,
1-to-1.
yeah, or the most common or probably some of the most expensive, we have multiple students that are completely deaf. They're 110,000 each.
Yeah, next year they're 144,000.
144,000.
And they're receiving 22,000.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get too many of them, and then they cut that down by half. Which means back
Smaller
to
districts, you know, not that we're super small, but we're certainly not super big. You know, it's a significant impact. Get 3 or 4 students that move into a Crow or even a Vernal Ridge, definitely has a high impact. And Quan mentioned, we kind of forecast those numbers and it's a guess, but no, we're really tracking them. I mean, we can definitely be off by 1 or 2, and that could be $250,000. We have 2, 3, 4 kids, but the total number, we're pretty close to, you know, we have their slots and they're allocated and paid for, but it is a significant difference in what we're paid for, and for some specific students that have a significant cost.
Are there any other like grant opportunities through like other departments that could help? potentially
No,
offset
there
some-
is through ODE, and it's something that the school leaders and we're constantly advocating for. There's an account that's called the high cost disability account. So for every kid, you'll know the numbers better than me, that we pay over $30,000 for, and for us, I think it was 40-ish, right?
Okay, they were 40 to 60,000 each.
No, but how many total kids did we pay over 30,000 that were in the high cost?
Oh,
disability?
yeah, it was like 32 or
Yeah.
30.
So we have, let's say we have 32 kids that we're paying over $30,000 for. There's a statewide pool that you apply for, and it kicks you back like 20% of that money, or it's not a lot. And that's one of the things that you know, educational advocates, whether it's superintendents or coaches or OSPA, is really advocating for, is to increase that high cost disability to help reimburse districts to help support, you know, these kids need these services, right? But that's really the only help.
There's nothing like through like OHA or any of the other departments or anything like that could
No.
potentially apply for. Okay.
Nothing that I'm aware of.
I mean, we do have the IDEA grant,
Yeah.
which helps fund special education teachers, but you cannot use that for like out of district.
Yeah, how many total? We have like 3 that we funded out of there.
We have 3 teachers and about 4 IAs.
That's a federal grant, the IDA money that we get that helps support. You know, it takes away costs from general fund, so we have 3 or 4 teachers that are paid for through that.
Okay.
This chart shows our financial trend over time. The projected 25-26 end fund balance assumes a 3% underspending. The proposed 26-27 budget reflects a 23% ending fund balance and assumes a 3% underspending as well, which is typical for planning purposes. I do want to note that for every 1% we underspend beyond the 3%, we gain about 200,000 in the end fund balance. Just for reference, last year we underspent by just over 7%. Wow, compared to the 3% that was.
So if we underspent 7% again in 26-27, essentially what that would tell us is our end fund balance would about stay flat. But if we are much closer in our projection and only underspend 3%, we'd expect to eat into our end fund balance to the tune of 800,000 or so.
You give it all back every time.
Say that again.
You give it all back every time, the underspend.
No, it just goes back to our general funds. We're holding that to use for next year, builds our end fund balance.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Yeah. All right, so these are our projected reserves. These numbers could change a little, but these reserves are about planning ahead and avoiding surprises. They allow us to prepare for known future costs like technology replacement, retirement and PERS obligations, facility maintenance and repairs, capital improvements. Having these in place helps protect the general fund and keeps our budget stable. So currently we have the technology reserve, retirement reserve, PERS reserve, construction excise tax reserve, and a maintenance reserve.
Who audits it to make sure that people don't overestimate? Each district overestimates and then just builds a huge war chest. Who audits the
Well,
projections?
yeah, every district is audited. You could, for example, let's say, I suppose, if I'm getting your question right, we can say, we're gonna have 2,000 students next year.
Yeah.
So could pay us on that, but as soon as we actually send them first corrected data in October, that's when they'd immediately say, oh, we're.
Oh, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, essentially, like, what's to stop, districts from going out of control with fudging the numbers?
Yeah, which they can, but we do have to upload actuals 3 times a year. And then at the end of the year. And so what happens is once they actually get the real data, if we were overpaid, they take it all back. So,
And every
and
kid
that has
has
happened with districts, and you can get hit pretty hard.
and there's no real way to fake a student. Every student has a SSID number,
Yeah.
right?
We have a couple different numbers.
There's no way a
attached
district
to
can be claiming the same kid. If us and 4J submit Jimmy number 6783290, well, there's a conflict there. That's gotta be fixed.
Okay.
Okay, so next step is to prepare the budget, align resources to meet student needs, estimate expenditures based on enrollment and staffing levels, maintain financial stability. We've kind of already started working on all those. So does anybody have questions on anything that was presented or that wasn't presented that I really answered? Or I could email you the answer if I don't know.
So as I want to mention, our next meeting is the 19th, at least a week ahead of that, hopefully like by Monday, the 11th or so.
Yeah, so our next meeting's May 19th at 6:30 Tuesday here. And I will have the budget done on or after May 12th. And I will email it to you guys. It will also be posted on the website. If you do want a hard copy, just let me know and I can print that out.
And like Juana said, it's a 200-page document and you've got a week. So take your time, kind of focus on those areas. If you had any questions throughout that time, Juana and I'd be willing to meet with you here as you go through it. As long as we get questions by the morning of May 19th at 8 a.m., we'll have the answers for you that night to go over them all. If you wait till the night of the budget meeting, most times, for those of you that have done this, we've been able to just approve our budget in one meeting. But most of the reasons, one of the main reasons we've been able to do that is because the budget committee members, the board members, do a good job of sending questions as they come across them over that week. And we're able to address them that night. If people bring a bunch of questions the night of Tuesday, the 19th at 6:30, then just know we might be having another meeting because we'll need to go back and investigate. So Tori's got the record at 83 questions.
It'll be hard to
And we
break.
do share the questions and answers
Yeah.
with the committee. So if, a few people send them to me and we answer them, we let you all know these were questions that were asked and answered. So we're not getting like a bunch of duplicates.
Just definitely don't feel silly about asking any question. I've been doing this a long time and I don't know all the answers. So ask anything and everything. And if you get it to us by the morning of the 19th, we will have the answer that night. And like Juana said, we'll go through everybody with, WC asks 4 questions. We'll share the answers to everybody that answer. All right.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's it, Eric.
Okay, then we can adjourn.
Be on the 19th. Be looking for the documents. Maybe that next week.
I will message you at 2 o'clock tomorrow. I missed the meeting today.
I was like, you were up late.
No, I woke up just like looking at my emails about the
Oh,
night.
that's
I'm like,
funny.
I missed it. I'm like, oh wait, wrong week. Figure it
I
out.
didn't realize till yesterday we were automatically on this committee. I heard it coming up and I thought, well, that's not for me. I'm already on it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good
Bye.
evening.
You too.
No, I'm on the, well, so I think we always For us, we only have one meeting, it's just like an hour and a half, that's
I
fine.
figure this is my 8th year of doing this. Are you gonna have me present next year for you?
Yeah.
At this point, I can almost do it. You